Are you feeling like your brain is just constantly buzzing? You know, like you've got 50 browser tabs open in your head, always fighting off distractions, the phone pings, notifications pop up, your own thoughts are racing. Maybe that to-do list is just looming.
It's such a common feeling today, isn't it? The world really feels designed to just pull our attention everywhere but where we want it.
Yeah.
And that makes it incredibly hard to settle down and find that deep focus, whether it's for, an important work project or really holding on to the vision of what you want to manifest in your life.
Right. People get so frustrated feeling like they're missing something, some secret to concentration. Maybe thinking, I just need to try harder, grit my teeth,
Exactly. And if you've ever really craved that feeling, that laser focus, or maybe you wished you had that kind of monk-like concentration, well, you're definitely not sailing that boat alone.
It really does feel like swimming upstream against this constant flood of noise, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And that trying harder approach, while it sometimes feels necessary, it's often just exhausting. It's not really sustainable long term.
Okay, but what if achieving that deep, powerful focus, the kind where you feel totally present and aligned with your goals, what if it wasn't actually about all that effort? What if there was a way that felt much more effortless?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Science is actually pointing towards a different path.
Okay.
Instead of wrestling your brain into submission, you can cultivate a state that actually allows for incredible concentration. It helps you get back in the driver's seat of your own attention.
Get back control.
Precisely. And in this discussion, we're going to dig into how you can unlock that potential and, crucially, how you can apply it to manifest your biggest goals.
Yep.
Attracting success, building wealth, landing that amazing job, whatever it is you're focusing your energy on.
Okay, let's dive in then. Why is it so incredibly hard just to stay focused? It feels like it's more than just not having enough willpower, right?
Oh, it's much more complex than willpower. Our brains have these really sophisticated attention systems built in.
Okay.
You've got the top-down system that's your conscious, voluntary focus. Like when you decide, okay, I'm going to read this chapter now, or I need to focus on this task.
Right, the intentional kind.
Exactly. But then there's the bottom-up system. This one's powerful. It's involuntary. It's wired deep for survival. It instantly snatches your attention when something novel or potentially important happens. A sudden loud noise, a flash of light, movement catching your eye.
Which nowadays means my phone buzzing or a notification banner sliding across the screen.
Precisely. And here's something really crucial that research shows. Every single time that bottom-up system gets triggered and yanks your attention away, even for a split second, there's a cost.
A cost?
Yes, it's often called attention residue. Basically, a part of your mental bandwidth stays stuck on whatever distracted you. And it can take a surprisingly long time, sometimes 20 minutes, even more, to fully disengage from that distraction and get your complete focus back on what you were originally doing.
Wait, 20 minutes every time I glance at a notification. Wow. That means if you're checking your phone or emails, even just a few times an hour.
You might never actually reach that state of deep, sustained concentration. You're constantly interrupting the process.
It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket.
That's a great analogy. Or think of your attention like a glass of water. When you're deeply focused, the water's perfectly still, clear.
Okay.
A distraction is like someone bumping the glass. The water gets all disturbed, cloudy, right? And it takes time to settle down again.
Yeah.
If you're getting bumped constantly, the water is always turbulent. True clarity, deep focus, it becomes incredibly difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
And that constant switching, settling, re-engaging, it's just profoundly draining on your mental energy.
That really lands. It feels exhausting.
Okay, so if the just try harder, force it approach leads to this burnout and constant battle, what's the alternative? Is there another way?
There absolutely is. For a long time, cognitive science really focused on training attention, using effortful tasks, things designed to require sustained mental strain, pushing your limits.
Right, brain training games and stuff?
Some of that, yes. But more recent research is highlighting something important. Attention isn't always effortful. It doesn't always have to feel like a struggle.
Okay, now this is where I lean in. Tell me about this effortless attention. How does that work?
It seems to be closely linked to our autonomic nervous system. The system that manages background stuff like heart rate, breathing, things often outside our direct conscious control.
Okay, the automatic stuff.
Right. Now, we tend to associate intense focus with the sympathetic nervous system. That's our fight or flight response. It kicks in during conscious effort, high vigilance, when you're pushing through mental resistance. That is the effortful, resource-heavy kind of focus. That feeling of grinding it out. Yeah.
Exactly that. But there's another mode, and it's connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest state.
Okay. Calming system.
Precisely. This system is linked to states of relaxed awareness, gentle monitoring, energy conservation. And when attention operates from this state, it can feel surprisingly, well, effortless. It allows for a deeper, more sustainable kind of concentration that doesn't burn through your mental fuel nearly as fast.
So it's less about forcing your brain and more about shifting it into the right state. Is that it?
That's the core idea, yes.
Yeah.
The key seems to be cultivating what some researchers call the attention balance state, or ABS.
Attention balance state, okay.
And here's the crucial part. This isn't about trying to fight off or suppress distracting thoughts or feelings. It's actually the opposite.
Really?
Yes, it's about gently observing your awareness, accepting whatever pops up, thoughts, feelings, sensations, without judging it or trying to control it. It's cultivating a kind of open, flexible attention that feels lighter, not heavier.
That sounds counterintuitive, maybe.
Yeah.
If I want laser focus, how does not wrestling with distractions help?
Because it trains your brain to become aware more quickly when your attention drifts. And crucially, it trains you to gently guide it back without all that internal struggle and self-criticism that usually happens when you try to force it.
Okay. So less fighting, more noticing and redirecting?
Exactly. Instead of battling the distraction, you just notice it, thinking about email again, and then calmly, gently return your focus. Research suggests this effortless approach engages different brain networks compared to effortful training. We see activity in areas like the anterior and posterior cingulate cortex, the striatum, and importantly, it strengthens that parasympathetic response. This suggests it might offer broader, more lasting benefits.
So it's like we're not just training a skill for one task, but maybe retraining a more fundamental way of being.
That's a great way to put it. A really relatable example for many people is the flow state.
Oh yeah, getting in the zone.
Exactly. When you're totally absorbed in something, you lose track of time, the focus feels natural, maybe even rewarding in itself. That feeling of being fully immersed without consciously trying so hard, that's a glimpse of attention operating much closer to that parasympathetic, effortless mode.
And that flow state, that total absorption, that's precisely what you want when you're deeply focused on manifesting something important, right? Like building your business, attracting abundance, getting that dream job. You need to be fully present, fully aligned.
Absolutely. Effortless focus isn't just about getting more done. It's fundamental to directing your mental energy, your intention, toward the outcomes you truly desire.
Okay, so I'm sold on the what and the why. How do we actually do this? How do we train ourselves to access this attention balance state? To build that effortless focus and self-control, we need to, really concentrate on creating our reality.
Well, it starts by adopting some principles that, yes, might sound a bit challenging at first, maybe even a bit like those of a monk, but applied practically for our busy lives.
Okay, monk mode principles for manifestation and focus. Let's hear them.
First, and this is absolutely foundational, especially if you're using focus for manifestation, set clear goals.
Okay.
You need a specific, maybe even quantifiable North Star goal. If your target is fuzzy, where does your attention go? It scatters. A clear goal acts like a focusing lens for your intention and your awareness.
Yeah.
You need to know exactly what it is you're concentrating on bringing into your life.
Right. You can't really manifest a vague, I want more good stuff. It needs sharp intention.
Precisely. Once that clarity is there, the next big step is managing your environment. Systematically eliminating digital distraction.
Calm again.
Yes. And this means taking concrete steps. Silencing notifications, maybe not just vibrate, but silent. Closing apps and browser tabs you don't absolutely need open right now. Setting specific scheduled times to check email or social media rather than constant reactive checking. For periods where you need really deep focus, maybe even short blocks of time where you physically put the devices away or turn them off, it's all about reducing that constant stream of triggers for your involuntary bottom-up attention system.
That sounds so simple, but wow, it's hard in practice.
It requires conscious effort and boundary setting, absolutely. Another key principle is structuring your routine. Creating a daily schedule, especially blocking out specific times for dedicated focus on your goals. It helps build discipline almost automatically.
Like building guardrails for your attention?
Exactly. Your brain actually likes structure. It conserves energy when it knows what's coming next and doesn't have to constantly make decisions.
But what about just grinding yourself into dust? Burnout is real. How does balance fit in?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial. Sustainable focus isn't about relentless, nonstop effort. Think about it. Even monks have periods of chanting, periods of manual labor, periods of rest. We need to balance intense focus periods with genuine self-care and healthy social interaction. Regular breaks, getting enough sleep, staying connected with people. This prevents burnout and isolation, and it actually supports long-term progress. Remember, effortless attention is linked to that rest and digest state, not perpetual fight or flight.
So it's not about becoming a hermit, but about being disciplined within the world.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the techniques that directly train that effortless state. Meditation and mindfulness practices are incredibly powerful here.
Okay.
Think of them as a kind of focusing boot camp, but one where the main skill you're building is gentle awareness, not forceful control. Many traditional forms, they aren't really about trying to empty your mind or rigidly hold focus on just one thing.
So not wrestling my thoughts into submission.
No, much gentler. It's more about observing and accepting what comes up. A common starting point is simply noticing your breath, feeling the sensation of breathing in, breathing out, and just allowing thoughts, feelings, sounds to arise and pass without getting swept away by them. This trains your ability to notice when your attention is wandered off. Oh, there goes a thought about dinner, and then gently, kindly guide it back. You're practicing putting the brakes on the distraction early, without the drama.
And that actually helps long term.
Research strongly suggests so. Consistent practice can actually strengthen brain areas linked to attention control, self-awareness, even increase gray matter density in some regions.
Wow. So that gentle observation can literally reshape your brain for better focus. That's incredible.
It really highlights the brain's neuroplasticity, its ability to adapt. Another technique, and this is super relevant for manifestation, is visualization.
Ah, yes. Seeing what you want.
But doing it effectively, engaging multiple senses. What does your goal look like, sound like, feel like, maybe even smell or taste like? By vividly imagining your desired outcome, you are powerfully directing your mind's focus and energy towards making that future real.
So it's more than just casual daydreaming. It's an active practice.
Yes, it's focusing your mental energy with intention. Structured visualization is a form of applying effortless focus to a desired reality, using your imagination as the engine. And, even simpler things can help train this focus muscle. Engaging in strategic games, chess, maybe complex board games, crosswords, certain video games that demand focus and planning.
Things that make you think strategically.
Exactly. They stimulate those neural connections that support cognitive function and sustained attention.
Listening to all this, it doesn't actually sound like you have to, shave your head and move to a monastery or throw your phone in the river to get started.
Absolutely not. That's maybe the most important takeaway. The most powerful thing you could do is just start small. Pick one thing. Incremental changes are so much more sustainable than trying to completely revolutionize your life overnight.
Okay.
Maybe it's just silencing notifications for 30 minutes today while you focus purely on that main goal. Or taking literally 2 minutes each morning to just sit and notice your breath. That's it.
And, if you're listening to this and feeling that pull in a million directions, feeling scattered, and this idea of effortless focus is sparking something for you, please take just a second right now, like this video, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us share these ideas on taking back control of your attention and manifesting what you truly want.
Starting small builds momentum. It allows you to adjust things at a pace that feels right for you. It's really about developing a consistent habit of gentle awareness and redirection, replacing that forceful resistance with more of a graceful guidance.
So we've covered quite a bit, setting those crystal clear goals, tackling distractions, structuring your routine, finding balance, the power of meditation or mindfulness, visualization. Out of all these strategies for cultivating effortless focus, which one feels maybe the most doable or even exciting for you to try first? Let us know down in the comments. Sharing what you intend to do can actually make it feel more concrete, and you can connect with others here too.
That connection is valuable. It ties back into that principle of balance and avoiding isolation on your journey.
So wrapping this up, what's the big picture here? It seems to be that achieving that really powerful focus, that deep, absorbed concentration we admire, it isn't really about constantly fighting your own mind. It's not about draining your energy with brute force.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a state of, well, effortless awareness. It's about building self-control, not through struggle, but by gently recognizing where your attention actually is, and then consciously, kindly guiding it towards what truly serves you and your goals.
And this skill, it feels fundamental. It's about reclaiming control over your most precious resource, where you put your attention. It's about making sure your mental energy is aimed squarely at the positive outcomes you want to create, aligning your mind with your deepest intentions, focusing on bringing those manifestation goals into your reality.
It really empowers you. You shift from being just a passenger, constantly reacting to all the noise around you, to being the deliberate creator of your own focus. And through that focus, you shape your experience.
So maybe choose just one small step you heard in this discussion. Try it today. Maybe silence those notifications for just 1 hour. Try a 2-minute breathing pause, or take 5 minutes to really vividly visualize that North Star goal using all your senses.
Because if cultivating this kind of effortless focus truly allows you to direct your attention to what matters most, what is the one thing you will choose to bring into sharp yet gentle focus right now?
Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion. If you found value here, please do remember to like this video, subscribe for more content like this, and share your thoughts or questions down in the comments. We love hearing from you.